Welcome to the Ancient Alternative View. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you. Good day to all watching the Ancient Alternative View, the place where everyone's opinion matters. Remember, the truth has been hidden and covered for many years, so all theories to our ancient past are on the table. I look forward to hearing your views. Please like and comment and subscribe below. Thank you. The Western Stone, Jerusalem, Israel. £1.2 million. The Ramesseum statue, Thebes, Egypt, £2 million. The Trilithon at the Temple of Jupiter, Baalbek, Lebanon, £4.8 million. So basically spread all over our planet, ancient sites reveal engineering mysteries that mainstream scientists believe were achieved with slave labour, simple tools. But let's be realistic. Is that really possible? Is the most logical explanation to all these construction marvels. Basically, archaeology tells everybody today that ancient civilization all over the world accomplished these amazing constructions as advanced as they are with sticks and stones. While today, if you look at our methods of building and engineering, we need power tools, power machines to be able to move and manipulate stones and structures, and even then, we have a hard time performing even the simplest of tasks. So this explanation that mainstream archaeology gives us doesn't seem to be very logical now, does it? Or something very big is missing from our puzzle. There are temples that are built using a range from 50 to 250 tons. They're just far too big for people who didn't have the wheel, who didn't have the pulley, who didn't have any facilities to move these blocks. So thinking about slave labour and transportation doesn't really seem to explain any of these achievements, well, not to me. In February 2012, at the Stone Valley Materials Quarry in Riverside, California, a massive £680,000 granite monolith was prepared to travel over 100 miles to become part of an exhibit at the Los Angeles County Museum. Workers from 100 utility crews, a £1.4 million crane, and a 44-axle tractor-trailer rig with over 2,400 horsepower were needed to move the one rock. Today's technology is barely able to handle these types of rocks. Movement, logistics, and all of that make it very difficult to believe that ancient builders were able to do this with their technology thousands and thousands of years ago. The boulder called levitated mass is a gigantic payload by modern construction standards, but it is small when compared to the blocks that were moved by our ancient builders. It is almost impossible to take a 340-ton rock and move it without our modern-day technology. And so we raise a question: how did our ancestors move these monoliths? Some of them are over 5 times as big as levitated mass, without the aid of high-powered machines, really. Researchers believe the ancients not only used power to move all these solid stones, but to cut them as well. Alitan, Peru, in Peru, the walls of this ancient mountain stronghold tell the story of what some experts believe to have been thousands and thousands of craftsmen shaping and cutting solid stone with precision that today could only be matched by using high-powered machine tools. And even then, we'd really struggle today. We find huge cubes-like sections of stone that have been removed from the mountain with such accuracy that we can find no scratches on the surface. The corners of these blocks are not sharp, but they're perfectly rounded. Can anyone explain that to me? This could have been achieved in a particular time in human history without any written evidence of what we've done, or the technology that could have helped to achieve these wonders. The ability to fit perfectly fitted stones over several tons in weight together so that a single human hair couldn't fit in between them is not a question of sweat or man hours, but it's definitely a question of technology. Is it possible that ancient civilizations from around the world had help from beings from out of this world? Maybe not. Constructions, monuments, holy places that defy our own technology. Could it be possible that electricity and elements such as fire were discovered far earlier than our history states that it does? In 1938, at the National Museum of Iraq, the museum director finds terracotta pots and copper cylinders in archives that many have used as galvanic cells. The nearly 2,000-year-old devices called Baghdad batteries are believed to predate the invention of the cell battery by more than 1,000 years. Archaeologists speculate they may have been used to electroplate gold, silver, other decorative jewelleries and so on. The Baghdad battery that we've currently found in Iraq can generate around 4 volts. A current modern-day flashlight can be run by a 9-volt battery. If we think of a Baghdad battery around this size producing 4 volts, what might one of 20, 30, 50 volts have had the power to sufficiently power? 370 miles south of the Giza Plateau stands the Hathor Temple, approximately 4,000 to 5,000 years old. The halls of this monument are lined with curious images. The Dendora bulb. What's interesting about this bulb is, in fact, on the wall reliefs, it appears to have a power source. So when we look at the images like the ones found in Egypt, we study the Baghdad batteries, we start to ask ourselves, is it possible that ancient civilizations, maybe the South, Central America, had the ability to obtain somehow electrical power? And if they did, where did they get this knowledge? With so many questions still up in the air, this is going to leave us studying this subject for many, many, many years to come. The megaliths of Baalbek are considered by mainstream scholars as some of the most impressive on planet Earth. However, there are numerous other sites that, just as Baalbek, are beyond fascinating and completely defy understanding of ancient civilizations and their capabilities in the distant past. Baalbek is impressive. It is the ultimate evidence of sophisticated ancient cultures that mastered engineering and architecture, yet it remains a profound mystery in the eyes of the mainstream scholars. Mainstream archaeology has different points of view when it comes to the exact age of the site. According to conventional archaeologists, it was a Phoenician sanctuary dedicated to the god Baal. It was a Greek city called Heliopolis, City of the Sun, and since the time of Emperor Augustus, it was a Roman colony. The truth is, the exact age remains a mystery, but some researchers consider this ancient megalithic site as being at least 12,000 years old, but could possibly be over 20,000 years old, let's be honest. The great platform upon which the Temple of Baalbek was built, majestic, but today only a few columns remain standing. It is a construction that modern archaeologists and engineers cannot explain, given the history and age. It's been officially accepted. Some believe that history has got it all wrong when it comes to Baalbek. However, the megaliths located in Russia are even more impressive than Baalbek and have caused confusion among researchers since their discovery. We're talking about the megalithic site of Gornaya Sharia, located deep in the Siberian mountains, where during one of the expeditions to the site, compasses of the geologists behaved very strangely, and for some unknown reason, their arrows were deviating from the megaliths. This impressive megalithic site is one of the largest sites ever discovered in Russia. Located on Mount Sharia in southern Siberia, the site contains some of the largest blocks of stone with flat surfaces, right angles and sharp corners, resembling Cyclopean masonry ever discovered. The giant megaliths were found and photographed for the first time by Georgy Sidorov, who explained the area for the first time in 2013. Ever since its discovery, the megalithic site has caused great debate among researchers and archaeologists who cannot agree whether or not the mysterious stones with flat surfaces, right angles and sharp corners are man-made structures or not. Preliminary studies suggest that the blocks of ton which weigh around 3,000 to 4,000 tons. What makes this site even more interesting is the fact this extremely heavy block of stone has been stacked up to 40 metres up in height up a mountain. Without a doubt, the origin, purpose and construction methods used to construction process of this ancient site will remain a mystery, but their beauty, precision and importance will remain a subject for debate for years to come. When we think of iconic 20th century pioneers in fields such as electromagnetism and engineering, the genius of Nikola Tesla will always spring to everyone's mind. Rarely is the name Ed Leeds Scanlon ever on the forefront of any of our thoughts. This man is the creator of the Coral Castle. Leeds Scanlon had a fascination with magnetism and developed an interesting worldview based around it. In addition to creating the Coral Castle, he published several pamphlets outlining a universal theory on electromagnetism and how it pertained to life on Earth. He believed nearly every function of life could be reduced to the interaction between Earth's north and south poles. Tiny magnets contained in our bodies and every organism of the Earth. It's led many to speculate that Leeds Scanlon used some type of magnetic levitation or resonance to lift incredibly dense coral rock while constructing his park. Though this topic has been widely debated, I believe that secrets of our ancient past can certainly be found here. While we point to images showing Leeds Scanlon's use of simple pulleys and levers, we have looked at sites today that some of these structures are impossible to have been lifted with a pulley and one man. However, scale one thing down and you get to another. This could be the point. However, he lifted through a hoisting a 30-ton block 20 feet in the air, and this was entirely unassisted. He said, and I quote, "I have discovered the secrets of the pyramids, and I have found out how the Egyptians and the ancient builders in Peru, the Yucatan, and Asia, with only primitive tools, raised and set in place blocks of stone weighing many tons." After his death, the 9-ton gate at the entrance of the Coral Castle stopped rotating as easily as it once did. To fix it, a 20-ton crane was brought in to remove, inspect and repair it into working order. It quickly becomes apparent that Leeds Scanlon had drilled a perfectly round hole through the centre of the slab without the use of power tools, fixing a metal pole in between two truck bearings. Now, if this man could do this on his own, then there is definitely a way that the ancients could have done what they've done. Now, obviously, none of these secrets are written down for us, but if somebody very clever in engineering, far cleverer than me, was able to look at the Coral Castle, I think maybe the secrets can be found there. Now, I know that you're all going to have an ancient alternative view to this. Thanks very much to the Lost History channel for the Coral Castle update, and I thank you very much indeed for letting me use that. But the megalithic structures around our world, some of them are, well, all of them are unexplainable, apart from some smaller ones that we now know are possible to lift. I'd love to hear your views on this. All the best for your day. Remember, there's always an ancient alternative view. Remember, there's always an ancient alternative view. Thank you for watching.